The exercise therapy aspect of Capstone's program is very, very important. When you get a bunch of young adult males or adolescent males in a state-of-the-art weight room, and we have an awesome weight room with, curved treadmills and ellipticals and hammer strength, etc., and it's wall-to-wall mirrors. Most of our guys do not come in very good shape. I would say that the vast majority come in, they have lost a lot of muscle tissue. They're way underweight, and they come in looking pretty dilapidated, as my mom would say. And they look at themselves in the mirror, and at first you can see them, not really liking what they see, and then they start to get a little tonus in those muscles, and it's really fun for me to be in there, and I'm kind of looking around at everybody, and you'll see a kid over there going and flexing his bicep in the mirror. It's fun to see that happen. It's fun for them to see it happen. It builds confidence in them to be able to be strong and to be healthy and to not be, sucking air when they walk up a hill and be out of shape. A lot of them have put a lot of junk into their lungs, and so when you get into that aerobic exercise, that tar and nicotine or whatever's at the bottom of the villi of the lungs, that gets kind of cleaned out over time. So it's got a great physical effect, and they love that feeling they get from doing it. But that's not our main agenda. Our main agenda is about their brains. When a person has been hurt by something that we call trauma, especially if it's a big T trauma, if it's sexual abuse, seeing a death, loss of a parent, physical abuse, and then you can actually have other things that are abandonment, rejections, neglect, that are equally as damaging. They just don't make the top 10 list in America, kind of on the trauma list. You can do a brain SPECT scan and see the damage, the physiological damage to the brain. If I broke my arm and you could see that the bone curved and it's obviously a break, if a skeptic came up and said, "Oh no, I think it's just dislocated," and we put it, went to the hospital and had an x-ray, and you see, well, here it is, your radius is broken right there in the middle. Everybody can see that on physical injuries, but when it's something that we a lot of times describe as being emotional, I feel dirty, bad, evil, I was raped, I was sexually abused, have nightmares about my father's death, we're like, you need to have more faith and more positive attitude and kind of get over that. Well, obviously that doesn't work. It's really an avoidance pattern approach to problems. And when you do a brain SPECT scan, you can see the physical damage in the brain from those different events. And I remember Dr. Todd Clements, a psychiatrist that is very prominent in the field and does brain SPECT scans and has worked with several of our guys, was at Capstone one day. We went to the weight room and he came in, he was like, "Wow, this is impressive." And then he started telling us, "Do you know that exercise is the #1 thing you can do to make the brain healthy?" Well, we already knew that to a degree, but he actually gave us a little bit of a free CEUs that day and teaching us a little bit more about it. When you have a brain that has been hurt, when you have a brain that has been addicted and you have the damage in it from the drugs or the process addiction effects, and you can do, Dan Siegel says, 45 minutes of cardio or aerobic workout 5 times a week, you do a lot to heal that brain. That's why the 30-day treatment is one reason the 30-day treatment doesn't have near the success as a 90-day treatment. Is in your first 30 days, the brain is still not just getting cobwebs out. I mean, it's just kind of getting some of those shorts and crosswires undone, in that first 30 days. And so when our guys come in and they start, slow, we don't want them to jump in and, kill the workout on the first day because we're not so sure that they, could do that. We kind of let them build up over a few weeks. They're getting an hour of cardio 5 days a week in this workout. And you see them starting to be able to think better, their emotions to become more congruent and alive by being in that weight room and doing their cardio. And it's like our weight workout is a cardio circuit workout, and then of course our cardio equipment, the bikes and the ellipticals and the treadmills are obviously cardio. So it is fun. It is at the end of the day. It helps them to sleep well at night, which is another factor in being able to heal the brain and to be able to do their work. They get pumped. They start wanting to wear sleeveless shirts and showing their muscles, etc. They get more confident, but mainly their brain gets healthier by doing that. And then in aftercare, we have a 2-year Finish Strong game plan for every kid that graduates, and it addresses them and their family, etc. One of the big parts of it that we see is that there are 2 very strong correlations with success post-treatment. Number one is what time the person gets up in the morning. And I know it's kind of a crazy, idea. I would have never really thought it from this angle. But our guys that get up early enough to be either at school or at work by 8 o'clock are the guys that typically that group has the best success in aftercare and recovery. But the second biggest factor are the guys that continue their workouts. And that's not just because of the discipline it takes to do so. It's also because it continues to give their brain the healthy release of endorphins and enkephalins and those neurotransmitters that make them feel good about themselves and good about their life.